My dad was the head of our nuclear family, and he could be quite authoritarian because he had learned from his father how to be in a family. And my mom, she didn't fall for it. She didn't allow him to contain and control her. She maintained her own life and did what she needed to do. She would shrug off what he'd say and smile and go about doing things the way that she wanted to do them. And she really was the field uh, that supported my father in being able to do all the work that he was able to do to help others. She provided that constancy, that groundedness, that stability, and that intelligence. Mom spoke 6 languages, and she'd often speak to people who came into the store in their own language. When people came in from the far north on their way to St. Anne's, she would greet them in Chipewyan or Dene.
You see, the Gorowskis, Mr. Gorowski was liberal. I mean, a really die-hard, dedicated liberal. My father was a socialist, so there was conflict. Okay, but let's see, the wedding was put on by the bride's parents. See, okay, and who did they invite? Uh, Davis, that used to be the ambassador to Australia and so on. Mackenzie King. These were the kind of people that were at our wedding.
And did Mom appreciate the fact that they were there?
I don't think she cared. I really don't. I don't think she cared. But they were all saying that I was going to be a good liberal.
So you're really rather romantic.
I think not only really, I'm very, very romantic. Always was and always will be. Yeah. Right.
Was Mom romantic as well?
Yes, quite romantic in her way. She was a different kind of a lady than a lot of women. She was very sort of shy, always, like really, quite sort of shy and reserved with me, believe it or not.
Is that part of why you fell in love with her?
Oh, definitely. Oh, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Like we met. She was 15, I guess, and I was 18. And we met at a dance, and we were dancing. And we danced with her, and I enjoyed dancing with her. But she was very uptight. She would get very uptight, and she'd always get uptight. We would dance. She'd stiffen up, And I didn't say anything, of course, about that. But I danced with her again, and I said, "You know what?" And she said, "What?" I said, "I'm going to marry you someday." It's strange, isn't it? I mean, it's strange, and it was strange coming from me.
Just a little closer.
Yeah, come
To me.
just a little closer. I can't remember.
Dee, dee, dee.
Just a little closer when I hold your hand. Just a little closer to make me understand. Yeah.
So your courtship was for 2 years.
I think 2 or 3 years.
Did you see each other very often?
Oh, well, I used to go down there every weekend, and oftentimes I slept over.
over to the house of her parents.
Right, right. I slept over with the boys in the granary. The boys used to sleep in the granary.
Oh.
Okay? But Josie would sneak over once in a while.
Did you used to knack in the granaries?
Yeah, sure. We tried. We used to also. They had a special parlor. You see, they had a nice house for those times, and they had a special parlor like that. There was, had a nice couch in it. And Josie and I would go in that, and it had a stained glass window, like you couldn't see through it. And the folks would be in the other room, and we would be in this private room, and nobody would bother us. But when it was time to go to bed, Mrs. Gorowski would come in and say, in Polish, it's time for you to go home, Martin. Yeah.
What was a good woman in Mom's mind?
She was kind. She was patient. She was loving and caring and sharing. She was all those things. She was a hard worker. She was very religious. She really worked very hard at it. That was sort of, like sort of her pride. She was very proud of the fact that she was that kind of a person. And which was, of course, I respect that very, very much.
What do you think service meant to her?
Well, she's, I say, very, very caring, and of course, her serving, just unbelievably, like the way she served people. She pleased anyone in any way she could. And
Did she put other people before herself?
Oh, absolutely, always, yeah, she always did. She just cared enough. And I know Josie was happy, and I know I would ask, and I have it in one of the poems. Josie, are you happy? I mean, I want to know, really want to know. I said, are you happy? And she says, why shouldn't I be? Would be always her response. Why shouldn't I be? So very earnestly, and that of course pleased me very much. So I thought, about around 1:00 she'll be home, and I just wanted to see her. That's all, just to see her. I know we were married for 46 years or something like that, but I still, I wanted to see her, just to see her. And she didn't come, and I had to go back to work, so I went back to work. At 5:00, I came home, and she was dead, laying in front of the TV set, with her on her hands like this. Her hands folded like this, and her laying just in perfect position, facing the TV set, with a silver tray this side and the cloth that she was wiping, polishing it on this side.
Was it a round serving tray?
The round silver tray, the anniversary, our 40th anniversary tray. And I was in a rage. I was calling death. I was shouting, screaming, come out. Let's meet face to face. Give me 5 minutes with her and you can have my life. Just to say goodbye. And didn't get it. No. Edie.
So your pulse
It went up 8 points.
went up 8 points.
Yeah, but that's understandable. The emotion was very strong. It's really strong. And it went up, bang. But that's a good sign.
I remember when I would come home for lunch and from school, Grandma would always make me something special, and she would always hug me, and I always felt so loved. And I remember when I would come home after school and I would go to the store and I would watch her, and people would always come up to the till and they'd be so happy to see her. And I just remember that Grandma was always a giver. Like, she was always so kind and genuinely cared about people. And when I think of my grandma, I think of her name as Josie the Giver. That's what she was.